I'm Aditya. Let's walk through the story of Saksham Haryana today. Let's start with a simple question. This math question looks easy, right? But in 2017, 1 in 2 students in class 8 in government schools in Haryana could not solve this question. To solve for this, Honorable CM launched a very ambitious program called Saksham Haryana. It was a systemic education transformation program covering 20 lakh students, 1 lakh teachers across 15,000 schools. Honorable CM also gave a very ambitious target under this program to have 80% students achieve grade level competency across grades 1 to 8 in all government schools in the state. A Samagra team was onboarded as Saksham Haryana cell in the CM office to support the design and implementation of this program. The Saksham Haryana team started with a very vague question. What are the things that are impacting students from learning and getting to grade level competency? 3 kinds of interventions were taken up. Can we augment administrative capacity? Can we strengthen academic rigor? And can we put in place enabling mechanisms to achieve this? Let's start off with augmenting administrative capacity. Under this, we use an issue-to approach and asked 4 key questions. The first question was, are there enough teachers in the state to solve for this? We figured that we had to solve for this 25% vacancy. We helped the government initiate teacher recruitment, and by the end of the program, 7,000 primary school teachers were recruited. The second question we asked was, is there equitable distribution of these teachers across schools? We found that without a rule-based policy, many schools were left without teachers, even though there were adequate number of teachers in the state. To solve for this, we supported the government in coming up with an online teacher transfer policy, which has helped in equitable distribution of teachers across the state today. Third, through on-field diagnosis, we found that less than 50% of a teacher's time was actually getting spent on teaching. A lot of our time was being spent in doing administrative work. To solve for this, we digitized service books and got 18 HR processes online. After covering these 3 questions, we asked ourselves, are students and teachers getting material to read and learn from on time? We figured that there was a lot of delay in delivery of textbooks and workbooks to schools. We supported the government in delivering over 65 lakh textbooks and workbooks to schools right at the beginning of the academic year through this program. These 4 questions marked the administrative interventions under Saksham Haryana. Let's now see what we had on the academic side. We took a very user-centric lens and said that we have to solve for people and processes as part of the program. We had an iterative cycle where we wanted students go from rote learning to competency-based learning and cover 4 key elements. First, to solve for awareness, we supported the government in creating something called a Saksham Talika. This was basically a competency list and ensured that the teacher knew what the competencies were and how they were connected to the syllabus. Second, a special cadre of 1,300 mentors were recruited who were there to support the teacher in her classroom in pedagogy and teaching in the classroom. These mentors used to visit about 10 schools a month and ensure that all schools in the state were covered every month by mentor visits. Besides mentoring, teachers also got support through trainings and remedial education in the classroom. Third, assessment reforms were undertaken to ensure that the progress of children on these competencies was undertaken. Through bi-monthly student assessment tests, students were tested on competencies to ensure that they were not just learning the material, but they were able to apply those concepts as well. Lastly, all the student assessment data was captured for insights through dashboards. These dashboards were given to teachers so that they understood the progress of students and also figured out where there were gaps. All these interventions combined formed the Saksham Chakra, the journey to enable competency-based learning for each child in Haryana. Till now, we have covered the administrative bucket and the academic bucket under Saksham Haryana. But it was equally important to galvanize the system to ensure that these interventions were actually resulting into outcomes on the ground. For this, let us discuss about enablers. We supported the government in undertaking 4 key interventions under our enablers bucket. First, CM involvement. Saksham Haryana had a very clear goal and a clear call to action. These things were emphasized and reiterated by the Honorable CM to all stakeholders from time to time. 2. Cascaded reviews. A hierarchical cascade of reviews happened right from the CM office to districts to blocks to ensure that the same KPIs, same metrics were tested and reviewed at every level in the state. These reviews ensured that there was progress which was mapped and there was accountability at each level in the system. Third, each level of information, right from goals to be achieved to metrics to achieve every month, were iterated and reiterated through multiple direct and indirect communication channels. These channels included WhatsApp groups, mobile apps, and formal orders given through letters to all stakeholders in the state. And fourth, periodic recognition was also undertaken to drive a positive spirit towards the mission and the program. All these 4 combined were the enabling initiatives under Saksham Haryana. However, these still were not enough. We had to ensure that we were measuring outcomes from time to time on the ground as well. We also had to ensure that there was momentum across districts and blocks in the state. For this, let's discuss Saksham Ghoshna. Saksham Ghoshna was a third-party assessment undertaken whenever a block felt that the children in their schools were ready, they almost raised their hand and nominated themselves to get tested by a third party. Ghoshna gamified the achievement of Saksham status. If 80% students in a block were found to be grade level competent, the block was declared Saksham. If all blocks in a district were declared Saksham, the district was declared Saksham. And when all districts in Haryana were declared Saksham, Haryana became Saksham. 10 rounds of Saksham Ghoshna happened over a 3-year period. In these 3 years, 86% of students in government schools in the state were declared to be grade level competent, which was a big leap from the around 50% status we had seen in 2017. Saksham Ghoshna, along with the 3 buckets of administrative interventions, academic interventions, and enablers, formed the framework of Saksham Haryana. Saksham Haryana was implemented with a lot of rigor, and it galvanized people to go towards achieving learning level outcomes for government school students in the state. A lot of work was done to ensure sync among actors, collaboration among all partners in the ecosystem, and generation of momentum on the ground. This could not have been possible without champions who were present across levels in the state. It would not have been possible without students, teachers, principals, mentors, block officers, district officials, headquarter officials, academic experts, and ecosystem partners who all came together to make Haryana Saksham. The state witnessed the strongest evidence of its success through the NAS 2021 results. The National Achievement Survey is conducted by the Ministry of Education and Govt of India to assess learning level outcomes across private and government schools across all states in the country. From being a laggard in 2017, Haryana came out as one of the most improved and best performing states across grades for its government schools. This was even more evident for those grades that had undergone the Saksham Haryana program. In the coming years, the state wants to use the learnings from Saksham Haryana to implement newer and even more ambitious programs such as Foundation Literacy and Numeracy or FLN and tablet-based learning. With a comprehensive design and focused implementation of Saksham Haryana, Haryana has come out as one of the pioneers of education reform in the country.